gonna be fun because today I'm gonna be telling you guys about all of my wackiest predictions for Scream 5. But before we get into that, hello. What's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Kylie if this is your first time here. If at any time throughout this video you're like, you know, this girl's alright. This is a good time. I'm having a good time here. Consider clicking the like button or the subscribe button. I do post 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I also post a lot over on my vlog channel, usually like 3 to 4 times a week actually. I also have a Patreon where I post even more bonus content if you would like to support me there. So all of that as well as my social media will be linked down below. Okay, so getting on with the topic of today's video, I know that a lot of you guys expected a ranking from me today because I just finished doing all of my reviews for the Scream movies. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I'm considering also reviewing the Scream TV series, and I think I might want to include that in my ranking. I'm not sure yet. Just like where the TV falls within my ranking of the movies, because like what if I like it more than Scream 3 or something? I don't know. I did post a poll in my community tab though asking you guys if you were even interested in my thoughts on the Scream TV show, so definitely go vote on that. It's looking like over 2/3 of you guys want me to cover the TV show, so I think I'm going to. And I also haven't even seen the 3rd season yet. I did watch the first 2 seasons a while back and I did enjoy it, but then I never watched the 3rd one. So I really want to rewatch it and I want to watch the 3rd season. Also, I believe it's on Netflix, so a good majority of you guys would also be able to watch it along with me. So maybe we can all watch it together and then next week, next Monday, I can cover the 1st season. Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Go vote. Go vote. Let me know. Okay, sorry, long intro. Getting on with my predictions now. Just a small disclaimer first. None of these theories are grounded in any research, and neither are they grounded in any desire to actually know what is gonna come in Scream 5. I really want to be surprised. Like, for anything that I see, I usually don't watch trailers unless it's a movie that I don't really care about. Woo! But I usually just think that trailers give too much away and I like to go into movies as blind as possible. So just know that I'm absolutely not trying to spoil anything for you nor for myself. So like keep that in mind maybe with the comment section because I don't want to know what's coming in Scream 5. I'm gonna scoot over so that I can put my bingo card up on the screen. My first prediction. Gale and Dewey will die in the cold open. Because let's think about it, folks. Think about what happened to Cotton. When his storyline was done, they were like, okay, bye-bye. And with Dewey and Gale, I just don't really see anywhere else for their story to go that would be organic unless they like had a child maybe. Although I don't think that they'll do that because Courtney Cox and David Arquette are now divorced in real life. They have been for like 10 years, so that'd be kind of weird. You know, I think that their story is coming to a very natural end. I think that that would be for the best if they died in the cold open. Oh, also with some of these predictions, they kind of have timelines, so like the next couple theories are contingent upon that happening. So if Gale and Dewey die, my next prediction is that Deputy Judy will be the new leading investigator of their deaths. And that is if we are in Woodsboro, obviously. I don't really know where this is gonna take place. So then she will effectively really be the new Dewey. Ooh, this next one is actually not contingent upon them dying in the cold open, but I think that Kirby might be alive. I definitely think that they're gonna bring her back for Scream 5, especially because of the fan reception of her and everyone was like upset that she died because it was exactly like what happened with Randy. We were like, why did you do this to us again? Kirby was one of the best parts of Scream 4. I think she was my favorite character in that movie by far, like including our main trio. So I really hope she comes back, and honestly I kind of think that she will because they didn't really show us her dead body. Like she fell to the floor after being stabbed, but she was stabbed in the stomach. It takes a really long time to bleed out of your stomach. Like that's one of the slowest deaths you can have. So there's absolutely a possibility for her to come back. Absolutely. This next one is kind of a popular one. I'm not a super big fan of it, but I couldn't say no to Matthew Lillard coming back, and that is that Stu is still alive and he is conducting all of the murders. So essentially he would be this franchise's Palpatine, because like if you guys follow Star Wars or if you're Star Wars fans, they brought back Emperor Palpatine who died in the original trilogy. It made absolutely no sense that he would be alive for the final movie, but then there he was. So maybe the Scream franchise will kind of mirror that because with Palpatine, he's like, I was every evil voice in your ear. I was dictating everything. So what if Stu was secretly dictating everything as well? What if he was the Palpatine of this franchise? I don't know. It honestly feels like one of the least contrived twists that they could have. Like that's something that could actually be kind of feasible. Because in the original Scream, it wasn't like they ever really showed showed us his body. It wasn't like they ever showed his body being wheeled out in a body bag or anything like that. I think that I saw that someone had like made a video kind of dedicated to that entire theory, but I didn't watch it because, like, again, I don't want anything spoiled for me, and I'm not gonna go really in depth with these theories or explain them because, like, I don't want to spoil anything either. But if Stu is alive, and even if he's not alive, honestly, I think that Sydney will die, at least at the end of this movie. Gale and Dewey, I could see them killing off in the cold open. I don't really see them doing that with Sydney, but Sydney could die in the end, especially if Stu comes back. Okay, so this next set of theories is for like an entirely different timeline. So in this timeline, they don't kill off the main trio, or they might, but it won't be as part of the cold open because the story will still kind of center around those characters. So in the first 3 movies, they were making commentary on movies, on like slashers, sequels, and trilogies, and then they made commentary on remakes with the 4th installment. I think in this one, they will make commentary on the media, because in the end of Scream 4, we ended with all the reporters like reporting a false story outside of the hospital. That was a really impactful ending, and I think that they could make really good commentary about like how harmful media can be and stuff in the 5th installment of this franchise. I don't know. If this is the case, I think that Gale might be working for a large news station. That feels like a very natural next step for Gale's career. If we're still going to be following Gale, I think that she would be working at a big news station. She might be a big executive at this point. And also, I think that they are going to comment on where we left off in Scream 4. I think that the truth about Jill will get out. I think that will be discussed at least a little bit in this movie because this franchise is really good about continuation and like referencing itself. So I think they will mention that the truth about Jill has gotten out. And my next prediction, so if they don't try to do something clever and make some crazy kind of twist and they bring in a new killer, someone that we don't know, I think that they will be a copycat of Jill. Because I think that her story with her being so widely praised on like national news coverage and everything like that, that might inspire somebody else to follow in her footsteps. That would be kind of a boring route to go, but I could see it happening. And if this is the case, if the truth about Jill gets out, I have another theory that maybe there's a clan of conspiracy theorists that are trying to avenge her because they think that she is innocent. And maybe this clan is so angry that they orchestrate a plan to take down Sydney. So the clan will go after Sydney because they think that Sydney was secretly the killer and framed Jill and everything like that. Which wouldn't be that far out because it is crazy that Sydney has survived all of this and she has been surrounded by so much death and has always gotten away, like, you know, like relatively unharmed. The last movie I think is where she got hurt the most, where she got stabbed in the stomach. I don't think she had been stabbed previously. At least not that badly. Okay, moving on to a different timeline of theories. Although, I mean, okay, some of these kind of can be intermixed. I'm not saying that like this would only happen if this happens, you know what I mean? You get it. But in this timeline, I think that Gale and Dewey will be divorced. I think if we are gonna follow them, I don't think that they'll be together anymore. But because this franchise is so married to the whole plot line of like will they, won't they with Gale and Dewey, even when they're married, I think that they will still try to like bring them back together. And the way that I think that they will do this is I think that they will have had a child. Yes, Gale and Dewey have a kid. Or maybe it won't be them, maybe Sydney will have a kid. I don't know. I have a feeling they might try to bring a child into this one because they wanted to give Gale and Dewey a baby in Scream 4, but they scrapped that idea. And now that it's 10 years later, they could use like an older actor or actress and they could have a child, you know? That would be something interesting that would raise the stakes. I would like to see that. This next prediction is a little bit weird. Well, a lot of these are, but I think that Gale will have learned to use a gun because like her husband is a cop. She could easily learn if she wanted to. Dewey also didn't really let her help him with his investigation in part 4 and she wanted to be in the mix. And then by the end of it, he was like, yeah, we're partners. Should've let you help me. So I think it would be reasonable that he would teach Gale how to use a gun. That's a small one, but I think it might happen. Okay, for this next one, I think this one does kind of rely on Gale working for a big news station, but I think that Sydney and Gale might be the killers. Why not? Or just Gale, or maybe Gale and Dewey. I don't know. Maybe one of the main trio is the killer now. The reason why I say it's Gale though and why it would rely on her working at a news station is because what if her career is starting to go downhill again? What if the station is struggling and she needs a story? I mean, maybe she would try to make one, you know what I mean? Okay, entering another timeline of predictions here. I think that maybe they will get rid of the Deputy Judy character, or she'll die in the cold open, I don't know, but I think that either way they might kind of pretend that Deputy Judy didn't exist. I think she'll just be gone. It's kind of like Cotton, where he was just a really unlikable character and they were like, his story is done, so let's get rid of him. I think something very similar would probably happen to Deputy Judy. I could be mistaken though, and she could kind of be the new Dewey and they might be trying to pass the torch. Ugh, I hope that's not the case though. In this timeline, what if Gale is making movies now? That could also be another natural progression of her career. And if that's the case, then maybe Sydney is her screenwriter. I don't think that would be too much of a leap because they're both writers. Gale is a storyteller, so is Sydney because she like wrote a book on her life. So what if now instead of them just writing books, they are making movies? I don't know. And if they are making movies together, what if they remake Stab? We're starting to get into some really goofy theories here, I know, because it would be really pointless to remake Stab, the movie within the movie, which has spawned a franchise within the Scream franchise. It's a mess, all a mess. So if Gale and Sydney were trying to remake Stab and like tell their story correctly, it'd be like over the top meta, but you know, this franchise is kind of notorious for that. Another random prediction, I think that by now Sydney might be married. There is also the solid chance that she is like a very strong independent woman that like never really wants to get married. I could easily see that being the case because of like the trauma of her past and not being able to trust people because of Billy and everything like that. But also in Scream 4, she had kind of gotten past some of that stuff. She didn't really see herself as a victim anymore, so I could see her in a marriage, you know? And if she's married, maybe the guy she's married to is secretly Stu, who has had plastic surgery to look like somebody else. Okay, I know, that's probably my worst one, but what if? That's definitely a wild card option. I really don't think you'll be able to fill that one out. Honestly, so are these next couple as well. This is really when I was starting to be like, okay, I just need to think of like a couple more to finish filling out this bingo card. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? So these next four, just don't judge me. I had to finish filling out the bingo card. Up next, what if Sydney's mom is alive? The murder that started it all. What if her mom is secretly alive? Because her mom had this whole secret life in Hollywood. She lived there for 2 years. There was that whole situation where she had a secret child. I don't know, it's all pretty shady, so I could see her mom secretly being alive for some reason. Well, no, I'm okay. In all honesty, I probably couldn't, but I mean, there you have it. What if? Up next, prediction number 23. Ghostface turns into an unstoppable killer much like Jason or Michael Myers. This would be really boring as it's something that we have seen just a few way too many times in the past, but what if they try to go a more traditional slasher route? I don't know, what if they make Ghostface more invincible? Yes, don't tell me, I already know that would not be in keeping with the franchise. It wouldn't make any sense because Ghostface is always just a regular person, but I'm just saying what if, okay? Number 24, even less likely. Ghostface won't even be in this movie. They're going in a whole different direction. I know that's not happening because I know that the Ghostface mask is like the most iconic thing about this franchise, but if you think about it, really the stars of these movies is Gale and Sydney. Like, we follow the main cast and like that's who we care about. It's not so much the killer because the killer is always different. Like, that's the kind of the beauty of this franchise. So then what if Scream 5 is more of like a traditional murder mystery, like more of a traditional whodunit? I think that'd be really fun, like if all the characters of Woodsboro were kind of trapped in one like location, like in a mansion or something, or like all in the news station and one of them dies and they're like, who done it? Okay, for my very, very last prediction, here we go. Only Dewey will die in the cold open, which leads Gale to track down his murderer, who is Sydney. Don't ask yourself why, ask yourself why not. I know, it's stupid, but like, come on. I mean, how else can they surprise us at this point? What if they decide that at this point it's time to just do full-out comedy? That's what the Child's Play franchise did with Bride of Chucky, and it really breathed new life into the franchise. So what if they did that with Scream? I don't know. I don't know, folks. Hi, excuse me, real quick, 1 second. Okay, I already took down all my filming equipment, but there were a couple more thoughts that I forgot to mention. I am truly of the opinion now that I think that the torch is going to be officially passed in this franchise. I do not think that the main trio is going to come back, because now that Wes Craven is gone, it's just like, what incentive do they really have? I feel like most of the main trio stories are kind of as played out as they could be at this point. I really don't know how many fresh new angles we could take with them. Like with some of my predictions, I wouldn't mind seeing some of that stuff, but I just think it would be more interesting to take a new angle, follow some new people maybe, because they kind of did that with Scream 4, and that was really fun. And also for them as actors, like, to move on with their lives, you know what I mean? They're probably tired of getting sucked back into this franchise every 10 years, although their paychecks are probably fat. So while I truly do love Sydney and Gale, I don't really care about Dewey that much. While I love the women of this franchise, I think their time is up. Like, it's time for a very organic ending. That doesn't mean that I want them to die, but like, I don't think that I need to see them as the main characters, you know what I mean? Of course, let me know your thoughts on that as well. Okay, sorry for interrupting. Bye! But I would love to know all of your craziest predictions down below. Let's talk about it. I'm excited. And then of course, remember to go over to my community tab and vote on that poll, because I want to know if I should cover the Scream TV show or not. It seems like everyone else and myself are all leaning towards yes. So definitely make sure you get your vote in there. But this was really fun. Let me know if you want to know my predictions on like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. That could be really fun because there's a new one coming out this year for some reason. If you're new, I have covered the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise on this channel, as well as like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and Harry Potter. So you got some options. Again, all my social media, Patreon, everything if you want to support me is linked down below. I do hope that you check out my other content. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye!